to get going. There we go. Okay, lovely. Right then. Okay. So I will take people as they appear on my screen, if that's okay, because it's a small group. I don't think we're going to be going on for the full 2 hours like this one's advertised for. So can I start with Becky, please? Ask Becky for your update, please.
Yes. So I'm Becky Brooks. For those that you don't know me, I am the director at 3SG, otherwise known as Bath and North East Somerset Third Sector Group. We've got a few big projects going on at the moment. Probably the most interesting for you or might be our volunteering projects. So we won some comp funding towards the end of last year to work on a volunteer project for Bath and North East Somerset. So that's included so far 2 online sessions. One was for organisations to find out more about how they could volunteer through services such as St Mungo's do training for volunteers, and we obviously have the community volunteer service in Baines. So we've been running the sessions with those organisations, and so one was for organisations to find out how they can advertise their opportunities. The other one was for residents to come along and find out how they can volunteer in Baines. I'm also commissioning a volunteer report on the future of volunteering for Baines, and then all of this work is going to be tied up in an event that we're hosting on the 1st of September at the Apex Hotel in Bath, and we're going to be inviting organisations to come along and have a stall, and then it's going to be my role to try and get residents into that building and talk about volunteering and how we can make it stronger in Baines. So that's really exciting, and it's the first event of its kind that we've done, so really excited for that. And then I guess 2023 for 3SG, because we work supporting charities, community organisations and social enterprise across Baines. Sorry, my dog's decided to stop barking. So I knew he'd do this to me. So we started a Bath Social Impact Network. You might have to come back to me.
Calm down a minute, Becky, and we'll come back to you.
I thought I calmed him. He started again. So I'm going to shut him out and I'll come back. Hang on a second.
Yeah, okay, we'll just hold on for you. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. Here she is, Becky. She's coming back.
Sorry, he's only young and he always chooses his really inopportune moments. My partner's upstairs, so he can't rescue me. So yes, the Bath Social Impact Network, which we're running with Bath by University. And that's been to invite social enterprise along. We've had some really interesting evenings, and so we're doing in-person events and online. So the last one we had Bristol and Bath Regional Capital come along and talk, and we've had Cleveland Pools come and talk about their crowdfunding, and also we had someone from Comedia about community shares. So it's kind of sort of a different direction for us a little bit, but it's following on for some of the work we did with the School of Social Entrepreneurs last year. So it's actually been really exciting, and also it's sort of helping organisations think about ways in which they can potentially diversify income streams as well and sort of make them a bit more sustainable in future. So we've got that. And then we've also been working on a brand new Aging Well network, which is bringing organisations together across Baines that work with older people. And that's going really, really well. But it's looking, every time we leave those meetings, you sort of think it's sort of emptying the ocean with a spoon, really. It's an enormous subject, and we've identified some really big key topics that we need to start looking at, including digital poverty, access to transport, inequalities in some of those areas. So we're currently putting together, hopefully, a bid for a much larger project, which will go across the area over the next 3 to 5 years. So we're starting to just put that together. But this is the thing we find with 3SG. We start projects and then they become absolutely enormous, and we have to try and think about how we're going to deliver them into the future. So that's what we've been up to. And if anybody, I'll pop our website and my email into the chat if anybody wants to connect outside of this call.
Thanks, Becky. That's really informative. Thank you very much.
And sorry for the puppy.
No worries on that. That's fine. Okay, moving on. I'll come to Richard next, if that's okay, Richard.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and woof, of course, which is obligatory now on these Zoom calls. What would Jackie Weaver say? So I'm the station manager at Summer Valley. For those who don't know where that is, 8 miles due south of Bath. So we cover North East Somerset. I'm here because we are a community radio station, 70 volunteers. So it's quite interesting what Becky was just saying there, because the feel I get at the moment from a lot of community organisations is it's more of a struggle to get volunteers now than at any other time, potentially. But some good news from our point of view, and we'll always feature community and charitable organisations. If you're across our area, if we can help promote what you're doing, get in touch with me, please. I'll put my email in the comments on this. But since I was last here, we had the community show, which is run by Simon Allen of Age UK, Janine Wilbur Grant of the Carers Centre, and Rob Wickie of the Big Local. So again, if you have any relationship with them, I'm sure they'd be happy to promote what you're doing in their shows as well. And through, in part, support from Bath and North East Somerset Council, and specifically Mark's helped me with this as well, we now have a Ukraine show every Tuesday as well. So Vera, I'm afraid I can't say her second name, but Vera, who's now working at Curo as well, I produce a Ukraine show for her every week. So we are presenting now in English and Ukrainian, and I'm just hoping we're not saying any swear words in Ukrainian on the radio. I'll just have to cross that bridge from when we get to it. But again, through Vera, we're trying to promote at the moment, and I know it's a big issue as well. A lot of the refugees have been here for a year, and there's a lot of issue now about rehousing, not just those, but obviously housing and fostering as well. So again, any of those sort of issues where I can help, I will. I think that's far too much already. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you, Richard. And yeah, I think the work that you're doing on that Ukrainian show is going down really well. It's being well received by people, and I think it's something which is very unique. We've had nothing else, no other offering like that across the areas. So thank you for what you're doing with that. Next name I've got on my list is Chloe Fletcher.
Hi there. Hi.
Hi,
Hi. I've managed to put my dog in another room, but only just.
well done.
Yeah, so we are Live Well Baines. I'm sure most of you already know what we do, but just as a really quick reminder, we're a single web-based resource covering lots of relevant information, signposting and resources for 3 distinct groups in Baines that we support. That's children and families, parent carers of children with special educational needs and young people up to 25 years, and adults needing care and support to live independent lives. We're also a really useful resource for organisations and groups, support workers who work with any of those groups of people. So we'd encourage any organisations to use us as well to find information for people that you are caring for. Just as a quick reminder, we're a statutory service. So under specific acts, the local authority has a legal duty to provide information and signposting under key acts, legislative acts. Just some top headlines from analytics point of view. We get approximately 20,000 visitors every month to Live Well Baines. Our highest sections over the last sort of few months has been adults, followed by our send section. And some of our top pages are cost of living pages, our Rainbow Resource page, which is part of our Send Local offer, and our young people's pages. So just a little reminder, as well as our key 3 sections, which is children and families, parent carers of children with up to 25 years with SEND, and adults needing care and support. We also have some dedicated pages around cost of living. So that includes, information, for instance, around benefits, energy, food costs, debt, and lots more. So that's a very popular section. And also our young people section, again, is quite a new section that's covering things like groups and activities for young people, mental health and well-being, sexual health, post-16 options. So all of that information, that's also become quite a popular page as well. We're on Facebook and Instagram, very active on there. We get about, for March, our reach on Facebook was 23,000 and on Instagram it was about 2,500. So if any organisations have got, we utilise the Facebook page and the Instagram page for, to promote lots of events, local events across Bain. So if you ever want us to share anything, we're quite happy to do that. And again, if anyone would like us to come along to team meetings to talk about a bit more in depth about Live Well Baines, and do a mini tour of the site, we're very happy to do that. Just get in touch. I'll put our email address in the chat. I think that's probably enough from me for today.
Hey, Chloe, just one question. I know we've worked with you with Live Well on the warm spaces throughout the winter months, and I just wondered, do you have any statistics about how many people visited those pages at all? Would you have that information?
I don't have any figures on the warm spaces to hand. I can have a quick look while you're carrying on chatting, and I'll maybe put something in the group chat. It was definitely during the winter months, it was one of our top used visited pages. So I can dig out some figures if I go back through some past meeting notes and put them in the chat. But it was popular when it was running. It has actually, you may know, it has come off the site now. Now we've moved into the warmer months. It's not been deleted, it's just been hidden. So it's something we can resurrect for next year if Baines decide to do that.
Really good. And what was quite interesting, we've done a bit of a wrap up on warm spaces with some of the neighbouring authorities recently, and one of the things that they're looking at is making sure that people know how to protect themselves from the heat as well, so kind of a warm spaces thing as well. So we might be looking to kind of perhaps do something if it gets very hot throughout the summer months.
That's something we regularly, always on our social media, we always post information around overheating, specifically in terms of effects on the elderly and effects on young people, as they are core audiences, and they're the most vulnerable from those kinds of environments. So we always do post that kind of safety information. There's always resources available to do that, so that's something we always do. And also just to mention, some of the warm spaces, not a huge number of them, but some of them have relisted on Live Well, as they are now offering a slightly different offer, and not calling it a warm space, calling it more a community space. So for instance, Community 67 in Keynsham are doing that. I think Bath Abbey are doing that. So they've sort of morphed into something different now and have relisted, which is really encouraging.
That is, because a lot of people found that the spaces were more than just about warmth; they were about companionship, weren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you.
Jane Kemp. Oh, sorry, Jane, we can't hear you.
I'll unmute, that will help. Hi everyone. So I'm the volunteer coordinator for Sendias Bathnes. I don't know if you all know what Sendias Bathnes is. We support children and young people and their parents and carers for families who have a child or young person with a special educational need and or disability. From the ages of 0 to 25. So we're employed by the local authority, but we work at arm's length from the local authority. The advice and support and signposting that we do is completely impartial. And I, as a volunteers coordinator, I've been here a few months, have recently recruited 7 volunteers, and they're called parent champions. That's why I've got that sign behind me, because they're going to be parent champions. They're going out and about in the community, letting families know about Sendias Bath-Ness, because lots of people don't know about Sendias Bath-Ness, and also other local organisations that can support them as well. So we're just at the stage where I'm contacting organisations such as schools, nurseries, coffee mornings, anywhere where parent carers might be, who have a child with SEND, to see if they'd like parent champions to have a little area there where people can just drop by, ask for advice. Having said that, the parent champions won't be giving advice. They will be very much signposting to those people who can. Becky, I was interested to hear about the event at the 1st of September at the Apex. Yeah, because we might be ready for a new round of recruiting volunteers by then. We were quite pleased with the 7 that we managed to get. We got them on board about 6 weeks ago. They're just kind of finishing up their training now. But yeah, we're kind of always interested in any advice, to kind of get volunteers, as you say, in this quite tough environment for that. So if anybody either wants to or knows anybody who would be interested in having parent champions come along to one of their events, then I'll put my details in the chat as well. Right, thank you.
Thank you so much. That's really good, Jane. Thank you. Okay. Liz Matthews. Hi, Liz.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Hi. Yeah, Liz Matthews. I am the new operations director for All Cycles Bath and West, which was formerly Wheels for All. I am the new Chris Revel, if you've met him before, I'm sure you have. I'm new into post. I'm in my 2nd week. I think I've done about 10 days, so bear with me if I don't know everything that I should know. It's a steep learning curve. But yes, so All Cycles Bath and West has replaced Wheels for All some months ago. Over the last year, I guess I should say. They've worked into forming themselves into their own, we've worked into forming our organisation into our own charity rather than being under the umbrella of Cycling Projects, which is a UK national-wide charity. So Chris Revel and 4 other people are now trustees of that charity, and I've been put in post to do the delivery and run the organisation. So I'm going to have 2 main arms, and one is I'm assuming you guys are all familiar with what was Wheels for All. I'm guessing Chris has been on the meetings before, but my role is going to be split into 2 now. So there's the delivery that we offer at Odd Down, and we connect with the various schools and organisations across the area, across the region, to enable adapted cycling sessions. But for 2 days a week, I'm going to be working in Summer Valley on the new social prescribing project called the Active Way. So I should be responsible for delivering the inclusive cycling branch of social prescribing. We took delivery of 5 beautiful shiny new adapted bikes last week, and 6 2-wheeled bikes that are presently in a container between Radstock and Midsummer Norton. We're waiting on planning permission for a container to go somewhere into Radstock. We have a site identified that would be ideal, but we need planning permission to allow that to happen. We're hoping that we will be delivering inclusive cycling as part of social prescribing by July. That's our time frame at the moment. So just really nice to meet you all. I'll put my name and email address into the chat for you, and yeah, I'm sure I'll be connecting with all of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz, and welcome. Jonathan, welcome, Jonathan.
Hey everyone, I'm Jono. I'm here from Bath Rugby Foundation. I'm the student journey lead, so in simple terms, I'm the head teacher at our alternative learning hub, which is a school for 14 to 19-year-olds who find traditional education too challenging to access. About 50% of them have special educational needs by healthcare plan. I would say 100% of them have special educational need because we are special education, really. Many of them have been labelled naughty. We opened that this year in conjunction with Bath College, and that's gone really well. So that's one thing Bath Rugby Foundation has been up to. Second thing it would be worth knowing about is our schools partnership. That does similar work to what I've just described here, but it's interventions in school, and they run from 7 years old, so primary and secondary. And this year on our programme, we've got 3 students who've been all the way through that process and are now going on to positive next steps with exams, which is really exciting. The third thing it'd be worth knowing about is our EDI training. The second 2 letters just stand for diversity and inclusion. The first, I'm afraid I forget because that's not my part. What that is all the learnings we've had from setting up what's known as mixed ability rugby nationally and running I believe we ran the national competition this year, the other half of the team here. We're heavily involved in running the World Cup too. Mixed ability rugby is rugby where everyone, no matter what their access requirement, plays rugby on the same pitch. It's total chaos. You should definitely give it a go. EDI training is based around that. So you can come down for a day, experience what it's like to get involved in a sport where everyone's need is in theory catered for and everyone gets to play the game together. Part of that training then has a look at how you work that into a business context for your staff, but also the people that receive your services or products. And that is run by Carol Thomas, who's a 60-odd cap Welsh international rugby player and specialist in inclusion. And I think that is everything that would be worth telling you about on this call. You're on mute, Mark.
Thank you, Jonathan. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's my job to make sure people don't go on mute. No, very, very interesting that, Jonathan. And I think, you know, mixed ability rugby, it sounds like absolute chaos, and I think it sounds like something that could be quite fun to watch as well. Lovely. Moving on. Wendy Loads. You have an update for us, Wendy?
Hi, Mark. Thank you very much. Not really an update, just to remind people that I'm here. I'm Wendy Loads. I'm from the England illegal money lending team. I'm a liaison officer and I cover a large part of the Southwest. Just really sort of say that, you know, loan sharking is getting worse, cost of living crisis. We are finding more and more people turning to illegal money lenders. I offer online training sessions or presentations if anybody's interested in booking me for their organisation. Also, I'm trying to get more into school, so I was interested in Jonathan's talk there. We are finding a lot more youngsters are turning to illegal money lenders as well. So I'm trying to sort of, you know, get into schools and colleges and universities in the Southwest. So if you have any good contacts, then please drop me an email. I have put my details into the chat box. We recently did a project with Richard from Summer Valley FM. Hi, Richard. That went really well, raising awareness. And that's where these kind of groups are really brilliant. I mean, I saw Richard on one of these calls and we made contact and we got a project going. So yeah, just really to work with more people in Bath and North East Somerset. So put my contact details in the chat. So please feel free to, you know, to reach out and maybe we can do some work together. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mark.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, always useful to have those reminders.
Thank you.
Final speaker I've got is Sue Paul. Hello, Sue.
Hi there, thank you. So I'm from Health Watch for Bath and North East Somerset, and I think I used to work with Jane. Hi, I thought it was you. I'm sorry, Age UK. So I think there's quite a lot of crossovers with what different people have been saying, because our main role is to gather feedback from people about their experiences of health and social care, which is obviously a really wide, for anyone, you know, whether it's parent carers or young people or older people. And we also tried to do some signposting, similar as to Jane was saying. We do have volunteers that work with us as well, and we've got just one particular piece of news if it's of value to anyone. We've got an MSc student from Bath University starting with us shortly, who's going to be doing a project as part of their...
Oh, you seem to have dropped out, Sue.
Sorry, I just hit a key inadvertently. So we've got an MSc volunteer starting with us, a student. She's going to be doing research into people who are new to the UK, their experience of trying to access health and social care. And we sort of narrowed that down to look at the experience of refugees who have been here up to 2 years. So we've linked up with Bath Welcomes Refugees and the council to see if we can help her meet with some people who maybe are in that situation. So if anyone does have any contacts of that sort, that would be great. Yeah, so I suppose what we also do, it might be useful as well, is we do try to amplify other organisations' voices. So for example, parent champions, or whether it's any sort of health and care related projects or issues, we can put those onto our social media and put them into a monthly newsletter that we send out. So we do try to amplify the voices of other groups as well. Yeah, that's it really, thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask a question actually, because I haven't been able to come to the last couple of these meetings because it's just clashed, and there's obviously a lot less people than there have been in the past. I don't know if that's just today or if there's been a gradual drop off.
It's very much a one-off today that it's actually a lot quieter. I think it's because obviously we've been in pre-election period where we've not been able to really go out and promote very much, and now the elections are over, we'll start to ramp up our engagement again with organisations. And if there's anyone that you think would value coming to these sessions, please, share our details, and we'll make sure that they receive details. My colleague Alison is still working on the latest funding bulletin and interagency bulletin, and that will be coming out very shortly. So again, just a reminder, if there's anything that you want added to future editions of those papers, please send them through to Alison Wells, and she'll make sure that she publicises events and information for you. And just one other thing I just wanted to mention is in June, we'll be launching our community awards again this year, and that's an opportunity for people to nominate in a number of different categories, people who have shown really positive signs in terms of volunteering, caring, and sort of actively supporting their communities. And last year we had a very nice ceremony down in Henrietta Park where we planted some lovely blossom trees to mark the achievements of those people. So we're looking to do something similar again later this year, and we'll make sure that we get information sent around. So again, if there's anyone that you feel is worthy of nominating, or anyone you think be interested in taking part, then please either get in touch or follow the instructions that come out. That'll be great. It has been a little bit shorter today, as you said, Sue. We've had a few less people than normal, but just really an opportunity. Does anyone have any questions or comments they wanted to make? Anything that you'd like us to perhaps do for future meetings? Bit of silence there. So yeah.
Oh, hi. It was just to Becky, I suppose, in terms of the Aging Well Network, because I could only get to a little bit of the last meeting, and I just wondered if there's any if there's any thought to there being at some point some sort of conference type event or something, or is that too far down the line? No. I mean, these things take a huge time to organise. So
yeah, I think it would be a massive project, but I think that's a really great idea. So it's putting it into practice and also making sure we can carry on the funding past the project and really bring it into being for the long term. So, but I think that's certainly something we could look at as part of that bid for the future, for sure.
Great. Okay, thanks.
Bit scary at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's my dog, sister's dog.
But thank you so much. As I say, it's been a small but very useful group today, and as I say, we'll get back on track with making sure that we get a slightly larger gathering next time we meet, and hopefully you still find these meetings useful. But between me and Alison, we'll continue to run them and make sure that we give you plenty of opportunity to kind of get involved. And as I say, if there's any thoughts you have after the meeting, just drop us a line, and we'll make sure we answer any questions and get back to you as quickly as we can. But hopefully that gives you an hour and a half back of your day that you weren't expecting, maybe. but thanks again, and hope to see you all soon. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark. Nice to meet you.
And you.